Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking a look through my vintage penguins, the main series titles from numbers 1601 up to 1800. Now by no means have I got all of these, but I've got a fair few and I've got some lovely books for us to take a look at today. So sit back, relax and let's get to it. Okay then, so we start off with Penguin 1601. It's a PG Wodehouse. Not the best of shape, but it's a Wodehouse. It's probably been read a few times. It's from 1961. Then we've got much better condition, 1606, the Thurber album by James Thurber. So that's a light humour title. It's a lovely one. This is the Penguin film tie-in to Breakfast at Tiffany's. Lovely Audrey Hepburn cover there. Truman Capote. 1607. And these are all dating, I believe, from around 1961. Yeah, 1961. So that's the sort of period we're going to be having a look over. As I said, this is encompassing 200 books in my collection, but I've only got about perhaps 100 or so to show you today. I've got lots of gaps, and this is an area which I'm trying to fill in at the moment. 1608 then is Raymond Chandler, Playback. A crime one there. 1610, Thurmer Warner, The Doors of Sleep. Occult, evil and macabre events in rural Sussex. Well, that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Yes, the Archdeacon. Exorcism. 1613. The Rainbow Comes and Goes, a biography, Diana Cooper. 1654, Moonlight at Midday, Sally Carringer, a photograph cover, quite unusual. Photo insert in that one. 1619, a thin little crime title, Lawman of Powder Valley, Peter Field. Yeah, quite thin that one. It's only 145 pages, so not a lot to that one. 1623, Louise Spotter. Signed Raymond, that front cover there. The Wounds of Hunger. That looks like a bullfighter, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, story of a young Mexican rider who aspired to be a matador. There we are. 1624 then. A Taste for Honey, Gerald Hurd. This is Anthony Powell, or Paul, depending on how you pronounce it. Venusberg. This wasn't part of the Dance to the Music of Time series, but it still has the lovely Osbert Lancaster, I believe, jacket. Yeah, cover drawing by Osbert Lancaster. Powell sort of wrote great stories about the British middle to upper class, pre and post-war, and that's one of his early ones. 1631 then, J. Dice, The Blue Chips. 1632, The Humbler Creation, Pamela Hansford Johnson. 1634, After the Rain, Bit of colour at last, John Bowen. 1635, Spinster, Sylvia Ashton Warner. Now this looks like it's another film tie-in. Shirley MacLaine, Lawrence Harvey and Jack Hawkins. Released by MGM. Yeah, Penguin would do the odd film tie-in. Not many, but they do a few. This is 1638. This is the very first volume of Penguin science fiction, which is edited by Brian Aldiss. I recently covered the Penguin SF in like its own dedicated video, so I won't dwell too much on that, but I've got a couple of copies of that one because it's such a great little anthology. 1639 then, Sybil Bedford, The Best We Can Do, an account of the trial of John Bodkin Adams. Looks like another true crime. Still 1961. As I said, I've got lots missing between 1600 and 1800, but that's the sort of area now between 1001 and 3000 that I'm trying to fill lots of gaps in. But it's going to take, it'll take a lifetime, particularly at the speed I'm picking them up. So, but it keeps it fun. A nice Penguin modern classic now for Virginia Woolf, Death of the Moth and Other Essays. These are really nice, these Penguin modern classics. Nice early example of one of those. I'd like to get some more of them if I could. 1647 then is Limbo 90, Bernard Wolfe, The Modern Concept of Cybernetics. A wholly new element of terror to science fiction. Well, there we are. It's a sort of sci-fi one. 1648 then, absolute classic, Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis. So Lucky Jim was first published by Foursquare in paperback, and it was a glance hardback, but Penguin evidently talked him over to coming to their list, a bit like Anthony Burgess around this time, and from there on, Amis was always a Penguin author, at least until the tail end of his life when he moved over to Random House, which eventually became Penguin anyway, didn't it? 1649 then, Ian Jeffreys' 13 Days. But if you never read Lucky Jim, it's a great read. Absolutely great read, that one. Nicholas Guppy, Wow Wow, 1650. Through the Forests North of the Amazon. Big thick one, this. One of their non-fiction titles, but released as part of the main series, but quite distinctive with the sort of different style spine and cover. Another Wodehouse now, 1652, Full Moon. Sad, but these 60s Wodehouse jackets are not my favourite. I really am not a fan of them. This is oversized. This is B format, and it's a Penguin cartoon book. 1660, The Lovers, Raymond Paynet. This is cartoons inside. We've got a couple today in this sort of larger B format size. You can sort of see, if you go sort of side by side there, it's a tiny bit taller and a tiny bit wider, just a little bit. Then a standard Penguin size. 1662 then, Fandango Rock, John Masters. Looks like another one about bullfighting, doesn't it? Yeah, another bullfighting book. 1666, another movie tie-in. This is for Marilyn Monroe's film The Misfits, Arthur Miller. So there is Marilyn Monroe, Clark Gable and Montgomery Clift on the jacket there. Remember this one used to sell for a few pounds because it has a Marilyn Monroe collectors. Don't know if that's still the case, but I don't think it's particularly rare or anything, but there you go. 1668. This is another D.H. Lawrence, apropos of Lady Chatterley's Lover and Other Stories. So we'll look at the Lady Chatterley phenomenon, in effect, almost a Penguin cash-in. This wasn't too long after the trial, of course. 1674 then, bit of a classic, This Sporting Life. Very nice design there. I wish I had a better copy of this one, but it reeks of the 60s, doesn't it? It's great. I wonder if it gives the designer. Yeah, cover design by Ronald S. Ward. It's nice that I bet with a nice copy of that it would look really, really great. 1675, The Teachers, G.W. Target. Well, we're about halfway through, so I'm just going to pause there. I'm going to pull the camera out and rearrange the books a bit. It just gives us time to thank my Patreon and channel member subscribers. Okay then, so 1679 is a Simenon, Inquest on Beauvais. Not one I recognise that. At least not one that I've read, rather, but very nice all the same. It's that classic sort of crime period, isn't it? Edwin Taylor was the cover designer. And quite nice with the sort of the fingerprints there. It's pretty cool. 1680, another one there. Maigret Has Scruples. That's good, isn't it? These, I believe, yeah, Edwin Taylor again. These are, I believe, have become quite collectible, you know. There's been a little bit of a Maigret revival. Obviously, Penguin have just finished the new translations, but these original ones have still got their fans. 1681, Maigret and the Reluctant Witnesses. And they are very, very quick reads, a bit like the Agatha Christie's. You can get through one in an afternoon sort of thing. This cover design was Haken Lindstrom. It's a different designer there. Here's another Penguin modern classic, a J.B. Priestley, The Good Companions. Seeing if that's a Ronald. Oh, so yeah, Paul Hogarth cover. I thought I recognised the style. So Paul Hogarth, who did a lot for Penguin around this time, he drew that particular jacket. 1683. Then another B format. This is 1696. This is Lawrence of Arabia, Seven Pillars of Wisdom, an absolute classic book. This one. I actually have the hardback first of this as well. The first trade hardback. A fantastic book. This, you never read it. I've never read the Penguin edition, but I have read the original. Just wanted to see if this was still 1961. Here we are. No, she's gone on to 1962 now. So we've moved on a year. So that was 1696. This is 1697, which is another classic, George Orwell. Coming up for air. As I'm sure you know, I'm a big Orwell fan. So most of his books I've got doubles of in Penguin, or I've got later editions. So that's the first there. And this is a later mid to late 60s one, I think. 67, yeah. So not unusual for me to have a couple of extra for George Orwell, simply because I really, really like his work. It's one of my favourites. Same story again. 1698 is Keep the Aspidistra Flying. I believe this must be the first. No, that's a reprint from 65. And this one, this is the first. This is the first from 62. And they used the same picture on the 65 reprint. Sort of inner city squalor, I suppose you could call it. My favourite, of course, is Down and Out in Paris and London. But we covered that long, long ago. I think that was Penguin 442 off the top of my head. Something like that. In the mid-400s. Homage to Catalonia, another Orwell. This is his time in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. That's the first from 62. I've only got the one copy of that one. Then we've got 1700, Road to Wigan Pier. Orwell. Yeah, 1962. 1702, Six Great Advocates. Lord Burkitt. It says this book contains 7 broadcast talks recently given by Lord Burkitt. It's like a true crime title, that. I think he was a judge or something like that. 1706, What's Become of Waring? Another Anthony Powell. Good stuff. Not A Dance to the Music of Time. 1711, John Brain, The Vody. Yeah, famous for Room at the Top. 1716, The Lost World of the Kalahari, Lawrence van der Post. A great travel writer. See, a few of these need to get cleaned up a little bit, don't they? 1717 then, Jamaica Inn. First Penguin edition of that one. Got a bit of a crease on that, but it's probably one I've had for years, just sort of picked up it out in the wild. 1962. Engraving on the front cover by Peter Reddick. 1723, another Du Maurier, The Scapegoat. Still very much read today, isn't she? 1728 then, so this is the start of A Dance to the Music of Time. Question of Upbringing. Just so good. I mean, words cannot express how much I love this series. The 12-book set is just magical. It's a real shame that they didn't all get published in this uniform edition by Penguin. It's Osbert again, isn't it? Osbert Lancaster did the jacket. Yeah, so I think they're all Osbert Lancaster. So they didn't quite all get published by Penguin. The last like 3 or 4 are in Collins. So it's a shame because it would have made a fantastic set. Here's the next part, A Buyer's Market, 1729. Once again, I've got doubles of these because these are my sort of go-to reading copies. I have got the full set in hardback first of these, a brilliant set to collect, although quite difficult these days. It took me a little while getting them together. 1730, World Acceptance, The Acceptance World. Osbert Lancaster actually signed that one there. 1731, David Garnett, A Shot in the Dark. (1739) is another Penguin modern classic, and it's Catherine Mansfield, Bliss and Other Stories, which is another really, really great one. Actually signed Paul Hogarth on the front there. There's a new book coming out on the Penguin Modern Classics as we reach towards the end of 2021. As soon as I've got a copy, I shall be reviewing it on the channel. And I believe it looks at all the Penguin Modern Classics that have been published over the years, right back to the early days. It'll be fantastic. 1741, and on the spine here, they've added a little C, like a C for crime. Ronald Knox, The Footsteps at the Lock. And that cover design by Romick Marber. It's one of his early ones here. There's a fantastic new website devoted to designer Romick Marber, who passed away a couple of years ago. It really is something to behold, and I have done a short video review on the channel if you want to check that one out. 1745 then, Brothers-in-Law, Henry Cecil. 1747, Much in Evidence. These are all sort of law-related titles. 1750 then, Gidget, Frederick Kohner. This popular novel, which became a film, sold over 1 million copies in the USA alone. Never heard of it. There you go, you see. Always learning. 1759 then, Horace McCoy, No Pockets in a Shroud. Very nice jacket, that one. See if we can see the designer. John Sewell. 1761 then, Bandula. This was the sequel to Elephant Bill. 1763, Time of Hope, C.P. Snow. Very popular author. Don't hear a lot about him today, but back in the day he was super popular. 1767 then, The Career of David Noble, Francis Parkinson Keyes. 1768, Fielding's Folly, another one by Francis Parkinson Keyes. 1772, a Wodehouse anthology, Clicking of Cuthbert and Other Stories. Not sure if this is all golf related. I think it might be. Yeah, I think it might be some of his golf stories, which are great. Even if you're not into golf, they're great. 1776, this is, I believe, the first appearance of Robert Van Gulik in Penguin. Penguin did, I think, 2 or 3 Van Guliks. The rest were done by Panther. Great author. They're really clever little crime dramas. 1784 then, Alan Moorhead, No Room in the Ark. Quite a common one, this. Turns out quite a bit. I think it must have been a big seller. We're still in 1962, so all of these have come out in a couple of year period, really. Graham Greene. What can you say about Graham Greene? Such a great author. I'm trying to get all the Graham Greenes in Penguin first, and then I'm going to do a dedicated video. But I am still missing a handful, so as soon as I've got that licked, I shall do a little dedicated Graham Greene in vintage paperback video. Because a lot of what didn't come out in Penguin got released in Pan, and I have got everything that came out in Pan. 1791, another Graham Greene here, Power and the Glory. Paul Hogarth again. A couple more to go through here. So 1795, Courtroom USA. Rupert Furneaux, another true crime title. Seen a few of those, haven't we? And the last one today is 1796, which is the Ha-Ha, which was a prize winning at the James Tate Black Memorial Prize, a bit like an early forerunner of the Booker, was this one. So quite high literature, you could say. Yeah, 1962. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking through those vintage Penguin titles. Some great stuff in there, I'm sure you'll agree. If you have, do please give the video a thumbs up, and do please subscribe for regular vintage Penguin content if you've not already. Thank you very much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.